Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Neo. Just getting started on this return client by spraying her hands down with some alcohol and attempting to push her skin back with this rubber pusher. This client's nails, she just has really tough cuticles that kind of just stick really well to the nail plate. So I felt like this wasn't really doing the job. So I will be whipping out my metal cuticle scraper or pusher in a second. I just felt like I really needed to get it back up off the nail. If I didn't and I had gone in with my new set on top of that without making sure that the cuticle was really off that nail plate, then she would have absolutely gotten lifting within the week. So it just depends from client to client and what their nail structure and body type is like. I'm taking my time. I know it's a little bit sped up, so it might look a little bit aggressive, but I promise you it's not. And what I'm doing here is I'm just slowly pushing back that skin. And the metal pusher was able to do that versus that rubber pusher. I am then going in with this ceramic carbide bit. A ceramic carbide, that's an oxymoron. It's a ceramic cuticle bit, and I decided to do this versus going in with my diamond bit just because I felt like this client needed a little bit more love. She had that previous set on for over a month. The previous set for this was the hot pink moon and stars set that I did with the gold charms encapsulated with the hot pink. It was really cute. I will link that in the cards for us to check out. But I just felt like she needed just a little bit more prep happening before going in with a new set. So I'm just taking my time to really clean up that back area of the nail. And as you can see, so much dead skin was stuck onto that nail. So I'm glad I did this versus going in with my regular diamond bit. Afterwards, I'm going to reapply new tips, cut them down, shape and blend. I'm definitely just skipping that for the sake of having a long video. It's the same in every single video for me. So if you're interested in my prep, just watch another video. Just watch all my videos. That would be great too. But yes, after this, I am going to reapply new clear tips, cut them down to her liking and shape and blend them. Then we're just going to get in with our regular prep. So I'm still working on, trying this 2-step prep, skipping the extra bond from Mia Secret. So I'm just dehydrating because we want a nice dry nail. Then I'm going in with a thin coat of the Young Nails protein bond. I have been doing this maybe for about 2 or 3 weeks now. So I'm still just waiting for clients to come back to see how it's been working. But yeah, I've been doing that, just 2 steps. I will continue working on applying a clear acrylic coat to all of my clients' nails before going in with designs. It's just something that I really like to do. It gives me peace of mind during the process, and then when they come back, I always have peace of mind, especially when I go in for my filing. But I'm just using the Young Nails Core Clear, and I'm using the Mia Secret monomer, taking my time to just not flood the cuticle and sidewall area. If I happen to, just using the tip of my brush to kind of sweep away any product so that it's not sitting on the skin. But for the most part, we're just going in with a clear base coat of acrylic before going in with our design today. So we're sticking with the spring and summer theme, I guess, of my channel, and we're encapsulating some flowers. So I recently talked about, I don't know if this was one of the flower sets, but I recently talked about a set of flowers that I bought from Amazon in my haul video. Do check that out. I will link that in the cards for you. And it came with a variety of colors and really fun options for flowers for nails. And I am using the white one today. We are going to be using one solid flower cut in half, and then I'm going to take some bunches of baby's breath and just kind of clip those pieces off and of the tiny little bunches of white flowers. So just using my tweezer to kind of pick and choose what shape, what types of flowers I want and how much of a stem I want on these as well. So that's just what I'm doing here. So to begin this design, we are going in, and this is going to be a baby boomer set. So I'm going in with a white acrylic powder. This is the iGel Beauty Dip and Dab. This is called what is it called? Oh my gosh, I just got a brain fart. This is called baby powder, right? I was saying baby's breath in my head because I just said baby's breath about the flowers, but this is baby powder by iGel Beauty. It's one of my favorite white acrylic powders. It's really, really stark white, but it's really nice to work with, smooth and creamy. And I'm just applying that to, I would say, 2/3 of the nail, basically over the tip. We will be ombreing some other things over it and adding glitter and sparkle over it, but I just wanted a nice clean white base. I'm also going to be using this powder to kind of shape that free edge, making sure that it's nice and sharp. As you can see, using the body of the brush to kind of swipe at the sidewalls. I want that product to be towards the center of the nail. I will be encapsulating, but I just like to do that so that I don't have too much to clean afterwards. I'm going to be doing this on the pinky, the pointer finger, and her thumb, because the two middle fingers and the ring fingers, two middle fingers, but her fingers towards the middle will get something a little bit more special later. And as I'm wrapping up the thumb, you can see that I have a nice, beautiful shape on that free edge. I like to make sure I'm just patting that product so that we maintain the shape that we got with the tip. There's no point having, you know, filed that tip to a nice shape and then your acrylic work is warping that shape. You want to make sure you just pat that product towards the center so that you maintain that nice shape. Now we're going in with that full, or I guess half flower on the nail. As you saw, I placed some wet acrylic, clear acrylic on that nail, and I'm just going to be using my fingers to kind of press the flower into that acrylic until it sets a little bit, especially that center area. It's a thicker piece of flower, I guess, versus the petals. The petals are fairly thin. They're like little thin pieces of paper, so they stick really well to the acrylic. But that center portion of the flower, I'm not really sure what you call that in terms of a flower. If anybody knows, you know, post it down below. But it's really thick, and I just wanted to make sure that it was really adhered to the nail. I will have to do multiple coats of clear capping to make sure that it's fully encapsulated, but that can come later. I didn't put any color base on this nail because it's mostly covered by flowers, so I figured I'd add a little bit of shimmer and sparkle to the nail as well. I'm going to be going in with some silver foil. These are like tinsel foil. It's not the regular foil that's like super crimply. This is from the Two Guys and it's called Chameleon Flakes, and it's really shiny, like really shiny pieces of silver foil. And then I'm going to go in with this really gorgeous glitter, diamond glitter from iGel Beauty. It is called Sun Bliss, and it's really gorgeous. It's a color that's really interesting because it looks silver, but it reflects pink and yellow and orange and blue. I don't really know how to describe it, but I feel like anytime I use this color, it works perfectly with whatever color I'm working with. It's just a really beautiful option of a glitter because it kind of works in any color variation that you need it to. So in this case, we're working with pink, white, and silver, and it works. I've used it on a nude, like a more brownier nude, and it works. I've used it with blues, and it works. I've used it with pinks, and it works. Sun Bliss is just a really gorgeous color to have in your collection if you're someone who likes to use glitter as like an accent. This is definitely a color that will work in so many different options for you. So on the ring finger, we're going to be adding the smaller flowers, just encapsulating. So I'm just adding tiny beads of acrylic and sticking those flowers on the nail, leaving tiny spaces. It's going to be our glass nail. And then after I'm done placing the baby's breath and the little tiny bunches of flowers, I'm going to go and fill in the rest of the space with the silver foil and the Sun Bliss acrylic glitter. And I'm just picking up tiny pieces of that glitter. That acrylic, I don't want to cover the rest of the nail. I just kind of want to add a little bit of sparkle to the nail. And the silver foil and glitter just added a little sparkle of something. You guys know I love a little hint of sparkle in everything, and I'm always in hindsight kind of like I should have encapsulated some pixies in that, but I just think that the Sun Bliss and the silver foil around those flowers on this glass nail just added a bit of something special that I think every set needs. Heading back to the baby boomer nails, I'm using the Valentino Bad and Bougie acrylic that I just recently purchased. It is also in that haul video, so definitely check that out. I don't know, guys, maybe it's because I'm not using the Valentino monomer, but I just don't really like how fast this acrylic sets. Normally when Working with acrylics, I find I have a little bit of time to really push the product around. I can, work on one area, come back to another area of a bead, and then blend. But I wasn't having that here. So I changed my tactic, and I am just working wetter than normal and working with smaller beads than normal. I don't want to use a bigger bead and then not be able to manage it or it's set on me. So I changed my tactic, and I'm working, as you can see, the beads are super, super wet, and I'm just going to be swiping to get a really beautiful ombre. If I need more coverage, I'm just going to apply multiple beads in multiple areas, but I just didn't like the way that I had to change my application style for this Valentino product, but it wasn't a big deal. And to make sure that the ombre looks really, really gorgeous, I'm just back swiping with that white to make sure that we didn't lose it and swiping that pink color over. I'm going to be doing that on the pointer and the thumb as well. So again, placing smaller beads, and as you can see, I didn't really get a good drag of that product like I normally would. So I'm going in with an even wetter bead right at the bottom of that one to get better coverage and a better blend, making sure I'm working quickly around the cuticle area because I didn't want it to set before I can push the product everywhere I need it to go. I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. It's a new acrylic. Maybe, you know what, I'm not gonna say too much. I'm gonna give myself more time working with these Valentino products, and I'm gonna try and make sure to use the monomer. I just think that when I'm working on sets, I just get stuck working with the things that I grab really quickly, and I'm just still working on working with the Mia Secret monomer. I just grab it instinctually, so I just need to, the next set I use, I'm going to work with that Valentino monomer if I use the acrylics, and then be able to judge it. But I just wasn't feeling the way it was working, but we made it work. The ombres came out great. But yeah, that's what was happening here. As you can see, it's tiny bead right at the not the free edge, but at the transition from that white to the natural nail. I didn't like it, so I'm adding a bigger, more wet bead, but really just not getting a chance to work with it like I normally would. But we made it work. The ombre came out great, and the set was beautiful. So I'm not gonna harp on it too much. I'm just gonna give myself more time to work with these products because I only got them a few weeks ago. After back swiping with the white to make sure that we have a nice, tone of that white on that free edge, I'm gonna go back in with the Sunblissed color from iGel Beauty. I just felt like I wanted to add a little bit of sparkle to these boomer nails just because it was a little bland, and I wanted to bring, just a little bit of sparkle to it. So I didn't take a really big bead. I'm mostly just picking up the glitter pieces because I don't want it to be a full-on glitter attack on these nails. Then I'm gonna go in with that silver foil from from the Two Guides, and just add them randomly in that little swirl of glitter we added on the boomer nails. I just wanted to incorporate those colors and the sparkles back into the rest of the set. And now that I'm happy with that, it is time to clear cap. So it is getting warmer, and I'm not enjoying it in terms of nails. If you know, you know. When it gets warm, your acrylic sets really fast. So if you're someone who likes working with a lot of time with your acrylics, you're going to have to make sure that they're cooler, or you put the AC on, or you lower the temperature on your central air wherever you are before working with the products, because they're going to be setting a lot faster. That could also be a contributing factor as to why the Valentino, no, I think the Valentino products just set faster, because I had the AC on a different day and they worked the same. But yeah, I'm just clear capping, and I'm using my regular Young Nails Court Clear to clear cap all of these nails, just making sure to encapsulate all of the nail, building up structure where necessary. I like my apex to be more towards the center of the nail, or where that free edge kind of ends of the natural nail. So you see me adding additional beads there and blending accordingly. If you apply your top layer or your clear cap nicely, then you're going to have less work to do in terms of filing, and you're going to better protect your design, especially on these encapsulated flower nails here. So I'm working wetter when encapsulating these flowers, just because I want to make sure that we get product all around, up and around in the crevices, to make sure that there's acrylic everywhere and that we get a full solid encapsulation. On the flower nail, the one with the large flower, I did have issues encapsulating, because as you can see, that flower basically covers the entire nail and is hanging off the nail. So I'm gonna have to work on that encapsulation a little bit more than normal, but for the rest of the nails, it's just a regular encapsulation, building up the beads, pushing the product towards the middle of the nail so that we build up the apex where necessary, and just making sure to avoid flooding the cuticle and sidewall area. On this nail, I felt like I wasn't able to really get the product around the nails. You can see I'm using really wet beads and smushing it around the sides, around that cuticle area. I just want to make sure that the acrylic is on the natural nail versus just sitting on the flower. So I'm working wetter than normal and just making sure that I'm pushing the product around the sides of those petals. I'm going to come back and file away where necessary. As you can see, I'm just pushing that wet acrylic there, just to make sure that there's a binding acrylic layer around the flower and not just on top and underneath the flower, if that makes sense. It's really messy, it looks crazy, but I'm going to shave off the excess flower that's not touching the nail and then fully do my regular clear cap. So don't really worry about what it's looking like right now. I know it's crazy, I know that the flower is bigger than the nail at this point, but I will go back and file once this first clear cap layer kind of polymerizes, and then we'll fix the shape and the clear cap layer later. So I'm going in with my 80/80 hand file, and I am just going to pre-file this nail. As you can see, that flower petal was way bigger than the actual nail, and the flower kind of sticks up off the nail more than I'd like. So I'm just going to be using the file to kind of shape that flower to fit the shape of the nail versus me trying to encapsulate around the flower that's bigger and bulkier than the nail as well. After filing, I dusted the nail to make sure that we didn't encapsulate any dust. Like, that wouldn't have been fun, right? And then I can go in with my regular clear cap. I can't even say the word anymore. Clear cap application for this nail. All of the nails are clear capped, so I'm going in with my medium carbide bit. This is that tungsten pretty purple one, and I'm using my Coupa Me file at a medium to high speed. Use the speed at whatever you can control it at. I'm making sure to be uber careful, pushing the skin away from the product so that I can really get that bit around the cuticle and sidewall area as close as I can. I like to make sure that the nail is thinner at the cuticle and on the sidewalls and thicker at the center of the nail. That's just the shape that I prefer. Everybody, does their nails differently. You just want to make sure that the structure is correct so that the client's nails won't break towards the middle of the nail. You want to make sure that the apex is in the right position, and then that the nail is just smooth. So you're seeing me go around to make sure that there's no product touching the skin, and then I'm gonna work on thinning out the cuticle and sidewall area, and then you're just gonna see me going back and forth and up and down along the length of the nail to make sure that it's smooth. Occasionally you'll see me swipe like that, my thumb down the length of the nail. If I can feel even like the glitter sticking up out of the nail, you want to make sure that the client has nice, beautiful, smooth nails. So that's what I'm doing here with my e-file. On this flower nail, since we had to encapsulate a little bit differently than before, I have a lot of cleanup to do because I was mushing that acrylic up around the skin, so there's a lot to clean up there. Also, I will be shaving off a bit of that flower just because I think on that yellow piece, it's like when I cut it in half, it was really thick in the middle, so it's sticking up off the nail a little bit. So this is the time to just reshape that nail to get that flower to sit where you want it to, so that the nail isn't like wobbly and bumpy, oh boy, bumpy and things like that. So that's what I'm using the bit for here. After e-filing, I like to go in with my hand file. I'm using an 80/80 just because I knew I had a lot of filing to do in terms of the flowers. It's a bit harsh. If you don't care for it, you can use a lighter grit flower. I'm using it to basically maintain that shape. This is more of a tapered square to coffin kind of shape with the length that we're at. I am squeezing the crap out of this finger. You don't want to have your client's fingers wobbling while filing. It is uncomfortable and a little painful, and you risk pulling the nail bed away from the finger, which is really painful. So when I do this up and down motion, you'll see I have my pinky and ring finger underneath the length of the free edge of that nail, just to make sure that I'm controlling the wobble or taking the brunt of it, I guess. But I like to do that because it gives me a really sharp, crisp shape, which I think is essential to just having a beautiful finish to a nail. So I did have the client wash her hands, but I like to do this anyway. I'm spraying her down with some alcohol just to further disinfect, to dehydrate. If there is any oil or lotion in the soap that she might have used, then I can remove that before going in with my gel top coat. We don't want anything interfering with that. And the manicure brush just helps to further remove any possible dust that might be there even after washing. I am using and super enjoying this not polished gloss it top coat. It's super beautiful and shiny, and I'm just applying a thin coat of that to the nails. On the flower nails, this one and her middle finger, I'm going to be applying a little bit of it underneath the nail as well, because it is a glass nail. We want to be able to see completely through it. And then I'm going to have her cure for 60 seconds, and this set is done. And here is what that set ended up looking like. I really am loving playing around with flowers and glitter and sparkle for this spring and summer. Thank you so much for watching. Like if you do, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.